Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for our mini beach release. Lots of fun stuff, and I just wanted to go over it with you. I don't have the stencils as of yet, but I will hopefully add on to the end of this video once I get them in my hand. So I'm just going to, I'll do this part live, and then I'll do a voiceover for the stencils and add it on at the end if you'd like to watch me do that. Okay, so first of all, we have our Gnome dies. Beach add-ons, lots of pieces. You're going to want either the girl gnome dies or the boy gnome dies to, assemble these. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you all of the little pieces that you can create with these dies. Okay, so first of all, let's start with, we've got a little snorkeling gnome. How cute is he? We've got a little girl and we've got her little flip-flops that you can make. This one is a little gnome, and he's sitting on this little adorable pink flamingo floaty. How cute is that? There we go. And we have a little sailor girl gnome, and then we've got the sailor hat. Okay, now we'll go with some other stuff. So these are just for some, additional looks. So we've got a cute little surfboard, a cute little sandcastle that you could have them holding and you could add hands to if you like, or just have them separate. There we go. We've got a little starfish. How cute is that? We've got a little fishy. Adorable. We've got beach ball. I cut out a couple of those. Aren't those fun? You could use them. You can have one, have them holding on to it if you like, or you can just decorate your card with them. A super cute little crab. There we go. And a nice little ice cream cone. And lastly, a little anchor. There we go. Isn't that cute? So super cute stuff, like I said, for, for making some adorable gnome cards. And remember, if you want to see me put these together, there is a Gnome Dies Beach Add-ons assembly video on the Jaded Blossom YouTube site and on my YouTube site. And if you check under the playlist, I have a gnome assembly playlist, and you can watch me put all of them together whenever you'd like. Okay, next we have this amazing large palm tree die. So fun. And you can watch me put it together at the end of this video. But for now, here it is. This is an A2 size card base, and look how big this large palm tree is. Isn't it something? And you can add a little gnome, and how cute is that? The card's almost done, right? So there we go. Really cute stuff. You can watch me put this together, but to be honest, it is very straightforward. Okay. Next, we have the Ahoy Nomi stamp set and the Ahoy Nomi outline dies. And I went ahead and I stamped them all onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock and cut them out, or stamp them in VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink and cut them out with the dies. So we've got Happy Birthday Sailor, Ahoy Nomi. We've got out of all the fish in the sea, you're the Nomi one for me. Snappy Birthday, Life's a Beach, Seize the Day. We've got You're Fantastic, Nomi, You're a Star. Oops, let's move these off now. So you saw them all. Life is Better in Sandals, Hello Summer, Holy Crab, It's Your Birthday, and Surf's Up Nomi. So perfect to go along with all of these adorable gnome dies. The sentiments match perfectly. And that is it. So there are 3 stencils, and you can watch me ink blend those at the end of the video, and watch me put this one together at the end of the video as well. Okay, so I'm going to put together this large palm tree. I cut out the base with Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock, and I'm using Gathered Twigs, Gathered Twigs Distressed Ink, and then Rustic Wilderness Distressed Ink. First, I started out with that Lucky Clover. It was too kind of bluish green, so I changed here to Rustic Wilderness, and I'm just going to run it around these leaves. Now, the leaves were cut from Doodlebug's gingham linen, some from the gingham side and some from the gingham. So, you've got a little bit of difference between the leaves, which is always fun. There we go. Just going to ink it all. You know what? I lied. In fact, that main piece of that palm tree was cut from Papetree Ink's craft cardstock. Okay, so I'm running that gathered twigs distress ink around the edges of this palm tree, and then I'm going to put it together with my Bearly Arts glue. So first I'm going to stick down this trunk. There we go. And I'm just going to stick that down. It's got lovely detailing, stitching, and so forth, which always makes it nice. Now this is quite a large piece that it'll take up a lot of the front of your A2 size card, so perfect. So these are dark chocolate cardstock coconuts from Papetree Ink as well. Now I'm going to add on my palm trees. Now that first one is the gingham from Doodlebug's Rainbow Petite Prints. And then I'm going to add in, I'm kind of tucking my coconuts in amongst the leaves is what I'm going for, but you can do it however you'd like to do it. This next leaf will be on the linen side. Inking your die cuts, I think, makes a big difference. It adds a little bit of texture and fun to your, little die cuts, I think. Makes them a little more special on the front of your card. So I'm using my reverse tweezers. All my die cutting today was done with my Gemini as per usual. And I'm working on a Stampin' Up pad. It's kind of my thing. I find it easy. You can see how easy it is to line up those die cuts when they are not white, right? There's a lot of contrast there along the edge. And then you can make sure there's no boo-boos. Although remember, mistakes are just, part of crafting, and I find I roll with it. I'll add an embellishment. I'll do something like that to make it, to fix my little boo-boo. No one notices them in the long run. So there it is. So now I'm going to be ink blending some stencils. I'm starting out with the Ocean Wave stencil. I'll be using my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, and I'm using a piece of pattern paper from Doodlebug. This is the Swiss Dot, and it's kind of in like an, kind of like a light teal color. And I'm using Distress Oxide ink in, what are the colors I chose here? Sorry, guys. Peacock and Evergreen Bough. And I'm using these paper pouncers. And I'm just going to sort of pounce. I find that there's a lot of open area in this stencil. You could also use pixie spray if you're going to use an ink blending brush. Just because there's a lot of open areas, it's easy to catch on them. That's what makes these paper pouncers so perfect. Now I'm going to be mixing in the Evergreen Bough. It's kind of nice to use a pattern paper in the background because then you get like some extra, extra pattern, let's say. It just makes it look a lot prettier, I think. So there we go. I'm going to pull off, that's the paper I used there. And I'm going to pull it off my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station. And isn't that pretty? Okay, next I'm pulling out my Rainbow Petite Prints in, this one is called Dot Grid Daisy Stripe. And I'm using the grid in the purple. And I'm using this Mermaid Stencil with Distress Oxide ink in Wilted Violet and Villainous Potion. And I'll be using the same, paper pouncers. And I'm just going to, move this around. Now you could easily ink blend this with a blending brush, whatever you want to do. I thought I'd use the ink pouncer just for a little bit of more movement, which is fun. So I'll make some areas a little darker than the others. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be using Nouveau Glimmer Paste in Moonstone over top of this. And, that kind of makes it all very forgiving. There you have it. So I'm just sort of ink blending or adding some ink here and there. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. There we go. Now I'm pulling out my Nouveau Glimmer Paste and I'm using a little scraper and I'm just going to apply this thinly to my whole stencil. Now you're going to have to set this aside and let it dry for a bit so you get, a nice even look. You don't want to get your fingers stuck in it. There you go. And what's nice is this really does look like fish scales when you're done because it's so glimmery and shiny looking. So I'm just quickly spreading it. You'll notice that, remember, your Distress Oxide ink is affected by, by moisture. So, you don't want to put that paste back in the jar. It's going to spoil the color. Right now it's clear, but if I put this back in, it would be purpley, right? So just be careful as to the amount. You can keep adding a little bit more with another knife just to keep it clean. So there we go. And I'm going to peel off, and then there you have it. It's a really shiny fish scaly look. There you go. So pretty. And I'm going to add a few pictures at the end so you can see the stencils a little bit better once they dry. Now, right now, I am going to be using the shell stencil with Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock. And I'm using frayed burlap and Distress Oxide ink. And I will be using the same paper pouncers. There we go. And these are lots of fun and easy. You know, I could have easily used a brush blender. I do actually at the end pull in a brush blender because the paper pouncer does not work so well for the little sand dollars. There are these little hints of pattern where the sand dollars are, and the paper pouncer just doesn't go through that as well. Now, it just could have been that I didn't, you know, put a lot of effort into those sand dollars when I was ink blending, but I do come back in with a, you know, with my blending brush, and I add a little bit more color on those sand dollars just to get, you know, get them, you know, get the pattern a little bit more opaque. And there we go. Okay, so here are the pictures. There's that shell stencil first, and then we've got the ocean waves stencil, and then lastly, the mermaid stencil with all the shine. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog. Be inspired. The Jaded Blossom store to get these products. And thanks for watching the video. Bye, everybody.